Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be working on 50 tags that I need to make for the retreat. So I want to show you how I'm going to mass produce these so I can make 50 of them rather quickly. I'm probably going to switch them and make them all a little bit different. I'm also going to use this as a design team project for Odulcina. I'm using her Mademoiselles, and we're going to work on making these tags beautiful. So I have tons and tons of old sheet music. So I thought, you know what? I could actually glue them down so I have sheet music as the first layer. So basically, I bought these tags. I cheated a little bit, and I purchased these tags, and we're going to make them look exactly homemade, like we didn't buy these. First, I'm going to take these strings off of them, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to glue, and we're going to figure out what side first we like better. To me, they're both basically the same, so I'll just choose this side, and we're going to glue them on. And I'm going to try to glue them up here so that way I can reuse the bottom. So I want to make sure that when I glue them that I have the music I do on the whole piece. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and the weather's getting warmer here. However, it is snowing, but it's not going to stick for very long. And the weather is getting warmer here, so I'll be able to buy more art glitter glue so I can have it for the winter. Those of you that don't have to glitter glue, you really need to purchase it when it is warmer out, because that's one of the glues that does not work well after it's been frozen. So if you're in a colder climate like I am, you want to wait until the weather is a little bit nicer. Normally I have my folding bone, and I just kind of fold that down, hold that down. Guys, I'm still not 100%, sickness-wise, but I'm getting there. I feel better today. I just need to be able to sleep at night. And Gary and I forgot we haven't had our humidifier on. So tonight, I think we're going to put our humidifier on, and hopefully that helps a little bit. We woke up last night, and he was coughing, I was coughing, and I thought, oh gosh, I gave it to him. Well, thankfully, he woke up and he seemed to be okay today. So let's just hope it's because of the dryness in the house. So I did this, and I'm going to do this basically with all 50 of them. But I don't want to do too many until we play around with the one that I have. So I know I want to use this as my base. So I thought maybe I could I have some of Anne's fabrics. I have a lot of it actually. And I'll probably use a smaller piece, but I want to use some laces, and I want to use probably some of her gorgeous fabrics. So what I think I'll do is I'll pick out one that I think the fabric will look best with. So let's start with this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and maybe we'll do two together. I'll cut out a blue one, and we can play around with that. Okay, I'm going to use this crocodile and cut this hole. So what I do is tend to put it down in the center and then cut. So I've got this hole, and I do have these reinforcements. So, I mean, it's probably not necessary, and you can even make them as well yourself. I'm a little lazy. So I don't know, lately I've been into gold, and actually I was watching Odulcina, and she is into gold. So I'm thinking that may be the new thing is using gold. So I'm not going to bother doing this back until we figure out what we're going to do. I'm going to focus on the front. So first, I have this book. It's old, obviously, from the 1800s. And I'm just going to use some of these pages. And I want to add some, oh, it tears nice. I want to add some just words to kind of offset the music. So I'm not going to add a lot. And this way I can get quite a few out of this. So I think I'll add a strip. There we go. And we're not going to hear it until I know exactly what we're going to do. And then I have this lace that if you've ever purchased from me, everybody gets some of this because I have quite a bit of it. And I want to also show you ladies how to incorporate it in your projects. So let's add some of this. Now, do we want... Can add it like that. And now we want to give this a little lift underneath. So let me go ahead and grab some cheesecloth. And I also have Anne's fabric, which I love. So I'm thinking of cutting this in half, making this smaller, and just creating a ruffle on the bottom. I also want to ink the sides of this as well. So let me go grab some cheese. I have to keep in mind that I have to make 50 of them. So I want to make sure I have enough items that I can use to make the 50 that I need to make. So let's go ahead and just ink the sides of these. And then you know what? I probably should just go ahead while I'm at it and ink the sides of this. And we can just add a little spurts of ink to even make this look a little bit older than it is. Oh, I've got the blue one. And here I am. I have all the pink things that I'm working on. But I think we might be able to get away with using... Yeah, we can. Using that on there. So let's go ahead and finish our layout again. Not quite sure how I'm going to lay this out yet. And I might even cut this in half. I'm just playing around to see how I like it. Oops, I got a lot of fingers. I'm cold today. So let me turn this. I like a little more peeking out on this side too. So I'll play around with this, but what I might do is just glue the center because I don't want these to be too big because everybody's going to get one. And they're all going on one of those O-rings. So I kind of like it tilted too a little bit. That way it's not totally uniform. And then what else do I have here? we were going to work on, let's see, a little ruffle. And as Anne says, don't overthink the process. So I'm going to try not to. So if I add this ruffle on the bottom, just pretend this is a ruffle, and I can add some little buttons that I have. And you know, it really doesn't need too much more than that. I don't want to overdo it. And, you know, maybe I'll add a button up there. So let's go ahead and see how we feel about this. I'm also wondering if you think this is just too straight, if that makes sense. Let me find my little piece that I have here. And let's see if we like this to be, actually, we'll just do this. What if we did just a little piece? Can do it like that as well, but I don't know. The whole piece seemed to break things up a little bit. You know, and then my other thought was, now these laces, I have different types too, as well. I have these. So my other thought possibly was, we add half of this. And you can still see the music sheet under it, or we could have even have gone and done something like this. This may be a little bit too much. Actually, that's not too bad. If I cut this, trim it up a little bit, and then I can add my ruffle on the bottom with some buttons. I like this. And that way I don't need to use too much under here, and I can just kind of poke a little bit out on the sides. Let's go with this and see how we like it. And then I think I'm going to trim this down too. So let me glue it on first, and then we can trim it down after. I'm going to use the glue gun. I had that heating up. And I'm just going to glue down just little spots. I'm going to find my spatula. And I don't want this to be neat on here. And I thought about using the sewing machine, but I don't really want to sit and use a sewing machine for 50 of them. Maybe that's lazy, but I don't have much time left either to work on these. We have to leave in less than a month. And I still need to get my packs done for my slow stitch kits that I'm making. So let's go ahead and, you know, I'm just going to, yeah, I'm going to use the glue gun because I want this to, oops, making a mess here. And no one's to say that I don't have to do all these the same. I'll use the same design, like the different things. I'll use the girls, I'll use the paper, I'll use the lace, but I'm going to mix them up just a little bit. Now, where did I put that girl? There she is. So I'm going to tilt her, and I'm just going to add just a little bit. So I can add some of the, oops. I'm going to show you something cool. I have one of these erasers, And it erases glue. Look at that. They're great. I'll put it down below, the link for these. Okay, so now we're going to try, and I should have my spatula for this. I have a little one. It's a little more easy to control. And I'm going to try to make my ruffle here on the bottom. Let's see how that works out for me. And I'm running out of glue. Let me grab my glue stick. I did pull one out. You know, when I'm in front of this thing, I put everything in front of me, but you think I could find anything? Of course not. Did I glue it to the table? I did. Okay. And I'm not worried about using this fabric because I'm going to grab some more when I see her. Her fabrics are incredible. Absolutely amazing. I love them. Let's grab this other piece. I mean, I could even leave it like that if I wanted to and put a button here. Let's see what I have down here. If I really wanted to, I could just do it like this, but I'm going to try to go across and see how I like it. And that button doesn't really match. I need another camera setup. I sure would love some suggestions. If anybody has any, can you comment for me below? I'm having a hard time with mine. As you can see, I keep hitting it. Maybe it's too low, and maybe I have to come at it at a different angle, but I sure do need a better one. And look, you don't need a lot to make it look pretty. Just put a little bit down here. Here we go. So now I'm going to take a few pieces of this. I'm just going to stuff it underneath and see what I think, how it looks. And this way it's not going to be too bulky. Probably don't even need this much. Oh. You know what? I don't even think it really makes a difference. And then I also have a lot of these, like these from Anne, that I could also use. I want to give it a little more pop. So I'm going to add a little bit more pop. I like that. That looks really pretty there. So let's add that there. And again, if I didn't want to make it so uniform, I could add it down the center like this. But I'm going to add it across the top because I'm going to add, I think, a bow. Now, I might cheat. I have some bows already done, but again, I'm making 50. And if I'm not going to like the bow, I won't add it. We'll see. Yep. That's coming out cute so far. And I do think the buttons are going to make it pop a little bit as well. And if I really wanted to, I could use inker. You know, the inker, I could use a colored ink if I really wanted to around it. And I could also I always could add a piece of lace on, another type of lace on here too, to make it pop a little more. And again, I don't want to overthink this process too much. Let's just cut a piece. You know, I probably shouldn't. I have a whole bucket next to me that I can use. It actually looks cute. I can see it down here, I think, better than I can up there. Let me grab my bow. So here's the pink bow, and this kind of has some pocket. This does have some polka dots added. You know, I really do like that. It just gives it more color. And then there's also this one. But I want more color. I definitely want more color on this. Whoops. So I think I'm going to add this one. And I have quite a few of them. I could add it down here, but I feel like there's too much down here. Maybe I should try to add my top up on top beforehand. And I don't even think I'm going to need that much lace. I think what I'll do is just cut it. And let's make this cut up a little jagged. You know, shabby looking. Let's add that. And I just add just a little bit to where there's more lace, more thread to the lace. I'm just going to add just a tad right there. So I'm kind of liking how this looks. And I'll trim these sides just a little bit. Just because I don't want them hanging too much. But this stuff is amazing to work with, and I sell it by the pound. So if anybody's interested in grabbing some, you let me know. Or when you grab one of my slow stitch kits, they all have it in there. So what did we decide to do? We decided I'm going to put the thread on first. And I have a bunch, again, of this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. And I don't mind using it all, like I said, because I'm going to go visit this summer. And I need quite a bit to be able to hang it. But this will also give us, I think, that pop factor we're looking for. I have a bunch over there too. I just hope this is strong enough to hold. I think what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll see. And I can see I might have some sari silk or something I can add to it. This is the difficult part, getting all of them to come through at once. You know, I can always add something else for people to hook to. I just don't want them to lose them. That is super cute. And how would you add this? What do you think? Do you like it up there? Down here? And then I thought of adding a few buttons. Let me grab some buttons. You can add them on the bottom, but you really can't see them. I can add them in the corner, or I don't need to add them at all, because they're really hard to see, I think. You know, this one's not so bad. I could add that. And I think I like that bow on the top. What do you think? I still kind of feel I need something around here. But again, I don't want to overdo these because I do have to make 50 of them. So let's keep this kind of simple. What side do I like better? That one, I think. Kind of make sure this bow is in the middle. Yeah. What do you think? I just need to figure out how I'm going to, maybe I'll loop this somehow. They need to be able to put it on their loop, on their card. So if you guys can help me come up with an idea for that, that would be wonderful. I figured I'd come back on and show you. I have this Sizzix wax. Actually, Odulcina used it on her video, and I thought, you know, I've tried the paint, and I have that other wax, and I wanted to see how I like that. And I gotta tell you, it stands out a little more than the other wax, and it really blends nicely. And I should have done it while I was with you, but I didn't. So I figured I will take a little, and we'll just do a little bit on these corners. See how nice that pops? Just creates that shadow, that illusion. Whoops. No mistakes, right, guys? Look how old that makes that look. I gotta tell you, I really like this stuff. And I will leave that too in the links below. Look how nice that looks. The other thing I thought too, and I think I might try, I thought of adding some gold flecks on here. So let me get some of my gold and we can give it a try. So I've got my gold leafing, and I kind of like how that came out, but this one I think is a little too severe. So let's cover up our messes. Oh, guess I didn't open this yet. Oh, well, let's just do this. Let's pull a piece out. This stuff is a mess, but it sure does make a nice look. And am I going to do this to all 50? Very possible. Let me just make sure we have that all covered. And I have a sealer too that'll seal it. I don't know if that's necessary. Okay, let's let that sit, and let me go grab my brush and we can brush that off. I grabbed whatever brush I had. So let's just gently take that off. The extra. There. I like that. It really, really makes this pop out. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments on if you like the gold or you don't. Now, how can we add the gold to this one? I kind of like the edge here. How about we just add a little bit of gold, maybe up on top here and maybe down in the bottom corner. Oh. See how that looks. Gold leaf day is going to be funny in here. I will be making a huge mess. I got to give this a few minutes just to dry on there. I don't know why I feel that kind of sticky. Let's put that big sheet on. Whoops. It is a mess. It's quite a messy job. Let me let that dry and I'll be right back. Just a little bit of gold up on the sides. Now, I'm thinking I like things uneven, so I'm wondering I might balance it off and just do a little bit over here. Just right here. We'll let that dry a few minutes, and then we'll pull it. There we go. I like that better. And maybe next time I'll do a little bit less, but I still like it. It's that grungy, shabby chic look. And maybe I'll do another here. We'll see. Well, I thank everybody for stopping by. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll be back real soon. Bye-bye.